If you have a brother or sister, I'm sure you know that sometimes they are jealous of you, or perhaps sometimes you are jealous of them. But I bet you never did anything half as mean to each other as what Antonio did to his brother, Prospero.
Prospero was the Duke of Milan, which meant that he was very important and rich. He had inherited this position from his father, and his younger brother Antonio was as jealous can be.
So Antonio dreamt up a terrible plan to get rid of Prospero and seize all the land and money for his own.
He went to the king of that country and said, Prospero is plotting against you with your enemies, and the king was very cross. This sort of thing was punishable by death.
Prospero was put in a small rowing boat, along with his little daughter Miranda, whose mother had died giving birth to her.
And the boat was pushed out into the sea, all on its own, and everyone was sure that Prospero and Miranda would die.
Many years later, the king and his court was invited to a wedding in another country across the sea. The king summoned his finest ship and boarded it, along with his son Ferdinand, his brother Sebastian, and Antonio, the wrongful Duke of Milan.
It was a perfect day for sailing. The sea was calm, the sky was clear and blue, till all of a sudden, as if by magic, a dangerous storm began.
Boatswain, here, master, watch it. Speak to the mariners. Best steer. We run ourselves aground. Mariners, take in the top sail. Head to the master's whistle. All passengers below to cabin.
Rocks ahead! Hard to starboard!
Hard to starboard. The ship is not responding.
Rocks ahead! I say, rocks ahead!
There is no time. We are blown onto the rocks. Mercy on us.
Where is the master?
Sire, I am here.
What's wrong?
All in lost, sire.
She prayed.
All lost.
Nonsense.
Mercy on us.
Father, where are you? Ferdinand, my sons, they near me.
We shall be drowned.
Hell is empty and all the devils here.
We split. Farewell, my wife and children.
My son.
Father!
What a strange tempest! Right out of the blue.
Yes, but did you spot the little islands in the distance? Someone on the island had been watching the ship go past. Someone on the island had realized that the ship was carrying the king and his court. Someone on the island had conjured the storm.
That's right. You've probably guessed that Prospero and his little girl had not been killed at sea all those years ago. Lucky for them, an old friend of Prospero's had hidden some magical books in the little rowboat with them.
They had come safely to an island in the middle of the sea, and Prospero had used the magic books to study and make himself a powerful magician.
Now he was the lord of the island, and all the magical creatures that lived there were at his command.
He had caused the storm to come and split the ship, and he had seen to it that young Prince Ferdinand washed up safe and sound on one side of the island, and the king and all the rest on the other.
Now he was the lord of the island, and all the... By Prospero's side, as he watched the tempest, was his daughter Miranda, who had grown up into a kind and gentle girl.
The storm had unsettled her, and so her father was explaining how she need not be upset. It was all part of his plan.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. I have suffered with those that I saw suffer, that vessel full of noble creatures dashed to pieces. Their cries did knock against my heart.
Tell your piteous heart, there is no harm done. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one. Wipe thine eyes, have comfort, they shall live. Away to thy shelf!
Father, I have a question.
Ask it, Miranda.
Who was aboard that ship?
Those very men responsible for this, our banishment. Dost thou remember it?
No, though I believe I remember our old home in Milan. I once had several ladies to attend on me.
So many servants, sweet, and clothes and toys, when thou wast heir to all Milan.
I have another question.
Yes?
When we were sent to sea to die, why did they, because my uncle lied about you, why did they not that hour destroy us? Kill us quickly.
Sweet, they durst not, so dear the love my people bore me. They hurried us to the sea in the dead of the night, in hopes it would not cause a riot.
I must have been a trouble to you.
Thou wast the angel that preserved me.
And will you then tell me a reason for raising the sea storm?
In good time, daughter, in good time. Now cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep.
All hail, great master! Grave sir, hail!
My Elio, hast thou performed to the point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every point, I made it seem that mighty Neptune did himself besiege the ship, shaking his dread trident.
My brave Bewick, but are they, Elio, safe?
Not a hair perished.
Well done, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season, is there more toil? Remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody? What is thou demands?
My liberty, I have done thee worthy service. Thou didst promise to release me after a full year.
Thou forget. I saved thee from the tree where old witch Sycorax had bound thee in her rage. Did I not save thee? And open the tree and let thee out?
I thank thee, master.
Shall I conjure an oak and bind you in its knotty entrails?
No, pardon, master. I will do as thou commands.
Do, and after 2 days I'll discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go charm Prince Ferdinand to doth with song, to place where Caliban doth dwell. Awake, dear heart, awake! Thou hast slept well. Awake!
Did I sleep?
Come with me. We'll visit our Caliban, our slave.
'Tis a villain, sir. I do not love to look on.
We cannot do without him. He does make our fire, fetch our food, and all the rest. Come.
So, who is Caliban? This slave, this villain? I suppose you could call him a monster, but I'm sure he'd disagree.
Caliban's mother was the same witch Sycorax, who had ruled the island before Prospero and Miranda had arrived.
She was the one who put Errol in a tree because he wouldn't do what she commanded.
And for an air spirit, being stuck in a tree was a horrible thing.
When Sycorax died, Caliban had expected to inherit the whole island and be a kind of king in his own right.
Then Prospero had turned up with all his magical books and ruined that for him. Prospero had taught him to speak his language. He had been so kind to him at first.
But Caliban had decided that he would try to woo Miranda and make her his wife, and Prospero wasn't very happy about that at all.
To keep Miranda safe, Prospero had made Caliban his slave and used his magic to prevent him from ever trying to overthrow him.
Caliban was furious about this treatment. He did as he was told, but in his heart there was an awful lot of resentment.
He was looking for an opportunity to get his revenge.
Slave, Caliban, thou earth, thou speak.
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say, thou poisonous slave. There's other business for thee.
A southwest wind blow cold on you and blister you all over.
For this, be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps.
This island's mine, by Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. Now, all the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, fall on you. I'm the only subject that you have, which once was mine own king.
You know that I treated thee with kindness. Did thou behave so rudely to my daughter?
Ha! We would have people this our little Caliban's, eh, Miranda?
Brutish thing!
You taught me language, now I know how to curse.
Hackseed hence, go double this pile of wood.
Come onto these yellow sands and then take hands.
Do you hear that, father?
It is obviously he's luring someone with his song.
Father, is that you?
What creature was that?
Watch!
Full phantom 5, thy father lies, of his bones a coral made. Those are pearls that were in his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer as he change into something rich and strange.
This ditty does remind me of my father. Drown, surely.
See nymphs hourly ring his knell. Hark now I hear them ding dong bell.
What is this? A spirit?
No, child. He eats and sleeps and has such senses as we have. This garden, which thou seest, was in the wreck. He had lost his fellows and strayed about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
Well done, my heir view. Thou hast performed it well. A prince for my princess, but she'll not know that I intend it so. Not yet. I must pretend I know him not and treat him with severity.
The goddess of this magic isle.
Goddess? Me?
Surely you are, for I've seen no finer maid in all of Naples.
A word, good sir. I do believe thou art a spy, placed on this island to win it from me.
No, as I'm a man.
How could such evil dwell in such a temple?
Follow me, young man. Miranda, speak not for him. He's a traitor, no doubt. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together, and thou wilt be my servant.
I will resist.
Dear father, let him move again.
You're a wizard.
Sir, have pity.
Silence, child. You like him only in comparison with Caliban. Be sure, dear girl, to most of men, this is a Caliban, and they, to him, are angels.
My affections, then, are humble. I care not.
Obey Miranda. Come, leave him here to help Caliban with the wood.
So poor Ferdinand, the king's own son, had found himself sharing a hut with the monster Caliban, chopping wood and being treated as a slave.
He didn't complain though. He did all he could do to win the trust of a strange old man whose daughter had taken such a liking to him.
Ferdinand had never met such a kind and gentle woman before, the same age as him, and like him in so many ways.
And she left him some little comforts when her father wasn't looking. They believed they were starting a secret love affair of which her father would not approve.
But of course, Prospero was watching them fall in love quite happily, secretly knowing exactly who Ferdinand was, and thrilled to see such a fine young man courting his only child.
After all, if she married him, she would be the Queen of Naples. Not bad for a girl who'd only met one man besides her father.
We should remember, though, that whilst Ferdinand was safely watched over by Prospero, his father, the king, was on the other side of the island, searching desperately and losing hope that he would ever find his son.
Sebastian, his brother, had been growing closer and closer to Antonio, the wrongful Duke of Milan. It turned out that they had a lot in common, since Antonio had stolen everything from his brother Prospero, and Sebastian had begun to wonder whether he could do exactly the same thing to his brother, the king.
Ferdinand, Ferdinand!
Where your sorrow will comfort, brother. We have survived.
Prithee peace, Ferdinand!
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
My son is lost.
I'm sure I saw him riding on the back of the waves, swimming forward and alive to land.
No, he's gone.
I think I did see Trinculo, the fool, survive.
I doubt that will bring him comfort.
Stephano too, the butler.
Unless his crates of wine are with him, he's no use.
My son, oh my son.
Sleeping sire? Here? What a strange drowsiness. Says it's him.
It's a climate here.
I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble, and it makes me recollect our former conversations. Worthy Sebastian, what might we do on such occasion as is this? My strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
Do you truly?
Noble Sebastian, I'm quite serious.
I feel like standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow. Will you admit what I know, that Ferdinand is drowned?
He is?
I believe so. Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
I am. You did discipline your brother, Prospero.
True. And look how well his garments sit on me. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my president. As thou canst thy fortune, I'll come by mine. Ready to draw thy sword, we'll strike together. And when I'm king, I shall remember thee.
1, 2.
Awake, king, awake, awake!
Why, how now? Wherefore this ghastly looking? What's the matter? Did you have your hands upon your swords?
While we stood here,
Guarding you.
yes, guarding your repose. Even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls.
Or other lions.
Did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas the din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
We'll leave this ground. You must make further search for my poor son.
Prosper, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
You would think that the king would have noticed by now that his brother was behaving suspiciously.
He was far too distracted with thoughts of his missing son to notice even the most obvious warning signs.
And to be fair to him, he had no reason to distrust his brother.
He certainly didn't know that Antonio had lied to him to get rid of Prospero. As far as the king was concerned, Prospero was a wicked traitor who had deserved his fate.
Now, at this point, we should mention that since nobody had actually died in the storm,
Prospero had made sure of that.
because no one had died, everyone else who had been on the ship, all the ordinary people who had been the sailors and the servants, they were beginning to bump into one another.
That's right, the boatswain and the master of the ship were finding pieces of the wreckage and putting it all back together as best as they could.
Do you remember how Sebastian mentioned the king's fool, Trinculo, and the butler, Stefano? Well, they were both still wandering about, each one believing he was the only man to survive.
But they weren't going to be alone much longer.
Infections full of Prospero. He sends his spirits to torment me. Sometimes it's chattering apes, sometimes it's hedgehogs tumbling into my barefoot way. Sometimes it's winding adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. How I hate him. Lo, now, lo, here comes the spirit of his to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll hide.
Here's neither bush nor shrub nor bear off anywhere near at all. And another storm brewing? If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. What have we here? A man or fish, dead or alive? He smells like a fish, a very ancient fish-like smell. Perhaps he's an islander, lately struck with a lightning. Alas, the storm is come again. My best way is to hide behind this rock, for there's no other shelter hereabouts. I'll here shroud to the dregs of the storm be past. I shall no more. To sea, here shall I die. Ashore. This is a scurvy tune.
What torment is this?
Have we devils here? To some monster of the isle with 4 legs. Where the devil did he learn our language?
I'll bring the wood on faster.
He's delirious. He shall taste of my bottle. It cures all. Come, open your mouth. I know that voice, but he is drowned. 4 legs and 2 voices. I will pour some in my other mouth. Stefano? How the devil did you know my name? I'm Trinculo. Thou art indeed Trinculo. Have we both escaped? Oh, I could dance with thee. Prithee, do not. My stomach is not constant. Did all the wine survive? Yes, except a couple of bottles. 3 bottles, perhaps.
They have dropped from heaven. That liquor is not of the earth. Let me kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my God.
Indeed. With the king and all our company drowned, why we shall be the kings of this new place.
No more fishing, no more chopping, no more chopping. No more serving. Caliban has a new master.
O brave monster, lead the way.
So Caliban skipped merrily away with Stephano, believing that he found a pair of powerful gods who would protect him.
Little did he know that he was dealing with the most cowardly fool in all of Naples and the wretchedest drunken butler.
Off they went, and Caliban was already brewing all sorts of ideas and schemes about how his newfound masters might help him get revenge upon his old one.
It's true that what he wanted most was to be king of the island again as the son of his former queen, the witch Sycorax.
But if he was going to have to obey someone, he would happily serve anybody if they helped him to be free of Prosper.
In the meantime, while all this was going on, poor Ferdinand was still chopping wood.
He was a prince, of course, and had never had to do such rough work before, so his poor soft hands were already blistering, and his back was very sore.
Prospero was still pretending that he didn't know who Ferdinand was or trust him, and he knew that his daughter was falling more and more in love.
Like Caliban, Ferdinand was no longer the heir to a kingdom, but only a humble servant.
Though unlike Caliban, Ferdinand bore it all with patience and never complained. He hoped to prove himself a worthy and an honest man, so that even if he never left the island and was a servant all his life, he might be allowed his one hope, to be the husband of Miranda.
This my mean task be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve makes my labours pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times gentler than her father. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work. I suppose I should begin again.
Alas, I pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs. My father is hard at study. Pray you, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours, I could hope.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonour undergo while I sit lazy by.
You look weary.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. Please, tell me your name.
Miranda. Oh, I promised my father I would not say.
Admired Miranda, my heart flies to your service.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness, I beyond all limit of what else. I, the world do love, prize, honour you.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heaven's rain grace on that which breathes between them.
My husband then?
With a heart as willing as bondage, ever freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now, farewell.
1,000 farewells. Back to the woodpile then.
I must keep my rejoicing quiet. I'll do my magic book. There's much business yet to do. Twinkler, keep a good tongue in your head and stop your jest at this, my Caliban's expense. It was only fun. Silence, mutineer. I'm to be king of this island, you know. I thought that we... Leave the poor creature alone.
I thank my noble lord. Now, as I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest!
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, I do not lie.
Twinkle, if you trouble him any more in his tale, by this hand I'll supplant some of your teeth. Why? I said nothing. Mum then, and no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this arrow, and if thy greatness will revenge on him, thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee, and thou shalt marry his fair daughter.
How now shall this be done? Canst thou bring me to him?
Yea, my lord, I'll lead you where he sleeps.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What pied nin is this, thou scurvy patch?
Twinkle, run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further. Why? What did I? I did nothing. Did thou not say he lied? Thou liest!
Do I so? That and that. Now, Caliban, he has a beautiful daughter, say you?
No finer woman ever I saw.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen, and Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Does thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
I am sorry I beat thee, but while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honour.
This I will tell my master, but first I will distract them from their mission.
Oh, King Stefano, look what wardrobe is here for thee.
Let it alone, thou fool.
Don't touch the gown, Trinculo. I'll have that gown.
Let it alone. Let's do the murder first.
Be quiet, monster. Think I'll final look.
The magical clothes chased Trinculo and Stefano all over the island, with Caliban following them and telling them to calm down.
By now, Caliban was used to the magical tricks that the spirits of the island played, and he tried to talk some new sense to his masters, but that was all no use.
Meanwhile, the king continued to search for his son. The hope was fading fast, and he began to wish that the sea had taken him after all, and he cursed the gods for letting him live.
If you had told him that his wicked brother, encouraged by cruel Antonio, was still looking for an opportunity to murder him, I almost think he would be glad.
So what was Prospero up to this whole time? What plans had he been cooking up?
Ariel had returned to him with the news of all that he had seen and heard, and Prospero had given him an extra special task.
He told the spirit to go back to the king, who should never have sent Prospero and his daughter to sea to die at the word of a jealous brother. He sent Ariel to him with a command to frighten him one last time.
I can go no further, brother. Pray you sit down a while and sleep again.
No, Sebastian. I'll walk till I find my son, or else walk into the sea.
Tonight, my lord. Tonight's the time.
Marvelous, sweet music.
What's happening?
Now I will believe that there are unicorns, that in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix, makes its throne.
And I'll believe so too. For if in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me?
Well, we have stomachs. Will it please you, sire, to taste of what is here?
You are three men of sin, whose destiny has belched upon this island. I am the master who will make you mad. Your swords could wound the wind before they hindered me. It was you three, who from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea him and his innocent child. That full deed has incensed the seas and shores, and torn my son from thee.
Oh, it's monstrous. Monstrous. I knew it. Ferdinand is dead. When the tempest howled, I thought I heard the wind say Prospero. And was he then unfairly banished? What have I done?
Does thou think that he suspects?
It cannot be. I'll not believe it. The spirit never spoke my name.
Nor mine.
No. Hang on. I feel rather sleepy.
Away with you all, to Prospero now, and then my freedom awaits.
Oh, that was a very strange display. But Ariel's plan was to make the men remember a strange old myth about a monster called a harpy.
A harpy lets you think you have a wonderful meal to feast upon, then flies in and spoils it, driving you away before you can touch your food.
People used to believe that harpies were sent to torment those who had committed terrible crimes, so the king now felt sure that Prospero had been wrongly accused, and that the gods were punishing him for letting an innocent man die at sea.
As Ariel whisked them away in their magical sleep, the king's dreams were guilty ones. He thought he saw Prospero's face through the water, frowning and scowling, and the face of his son crying out with no sound in the gloom.
Antonio, who of course knew very well that Prospero had done no wrong, was dreaming even more fitfully, not from the guilt, but from fear that the spirits who had sent the feast would punish him for his crimes.
And Sebastian dreamt only of a crown, just like he did most nights.
Prospero's plans had all fallen into place.
The time was drawing near for the magical happenings to end.
Be still, children. Ferdinand, if I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. Take my daughter.
Do you mean he can marry me?
I do, child.
Oh, father!
1,000 thanks.
We thought you did not like him.
I wanted to observe his character, and now that I have, I see he has the best of both his parents, and none of his father's flaws.
Did my father wrong you, sir?
If he did, then it no longer matters, Ferdinand. There is my daughter. She is thine own. Go talk with her. Make plans together. I'll join you soon. Avio, my industrious servant. Avio.
Here I am.
One last trick, Avio. Go find the sleeping king and his companion, and bring them to my cave. I shall awaken them and tell them all that Ferdinand is safe, and my daughter will be Queen of Naples.
I go. But first, wise master, I shall send to you 3 other creatures that have chased around the island, and now have chased up here.
Indeed?
In here, is it? And is he sleeping? Trinculo, give me thy dagger. Oh.
Misshapen knave, your mother was a witch who could control the moon. And look at thee.
Master,
And who are you?
their names are Trinculo and Stefano.
And who are they?
The ship's cook, sir, pray. Are you a very powerful wizard?
Silence. And you? Who are you?
My name is Trinculo, sir. I'm only a fool.
I can see that. The king must punish you as he sees fit. But you, Caliban, you thing of darkness, I must acknowledge you are mine.
Forgive me, master.
Away with you all! Caliban, to your old hovel. And you two men, if men you be, you're behaving like mice. There are sailors in yon bay who have, with the help of my magic, fixed the ship.
Indeed?
Stay if you will, and be this monster's helpers, or join the ship and wait your fate within. Perhaps your king will give you mercy. Well, which will it be?
We go.
You would have killed me, Caliban?
Never again, my lord. Never again.
True, Caliban, but not because I believe a word you say. Be gone, creature. You shall soon have your heart's desire that we be parted for eternity.
I go. How foolish I have been to think I could usurp you. What donkey was I to take that drunkard for a god and worship that dull fool?
That is the last time I'll see him. Thank the heavens.
As Prospero walked back to his cave, he said goodbye to all the plants and trees and all the magical creatures of the island.
In his heart, he was secretly a little bit sad to be leaving them behind. After all, back home, he would need to start behaving like a duke, and here he had been used to being like a king.
Or like a god, he knew he could not use his magic back at home. People wouldn't like it. They would think he was a dangerous man, and he was getting too old for all that.
Now his daughter had a chance to live a happy life back home with the rest of the family that they had left behind.
She would be a queen, and he could not bear to be parted from her, so with her he knew he must go.
So for her sake, more than anything else, Prospero was going to give up all his power.
But he asked the spirits to sing to him their magical songs one last time, and his soul was soothed.
And he felt particularly good when he remembered that he would soon return to his favorite pair of slippers, which had been left in his palace all those years ago.
Where am I? Behold, here stands the wrong Duke of Milan.
Brother?
Good king, here is your son.
Father, if this proves a vision of the island, I will have lost you twice.
I thought the waves had taken thee. I have cursed them without cause.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here, oh brave new world that has such people in it.
Is she the goddess that has brought us safe together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she is mine. She is the daughter to this famous Duke Prospero, a second father as he will be to me.
And I'll be hers. Sweet daughter, how odd to ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, let us stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone. But you two, back there.
The devil speaks in him.
Prosper,
Silent! For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest fault. Thou require my dukedom back from thee.
of course.
You must forgive your brother too, sire. He thought to treat you as my brother treated me.
Is this true? I'll see too if I can forgive.
For now, back to the ship, both of you.
If the ship's fixed, we should away. Miranda, thou shalt see the very land of which thou shalt be queen.
So near the end of our adventures. Where's my friend, my companion, my servant? Where's my Ariel, to whom I promised freedom, and who, at last, like me, shall find it? Ariel! Ariel, make the weather fair for our sailing, then to the elements be free, and fare thou well.
Farewell, good master.
My charms are done, my dukedom is recovered, my Miranda shall be queen. I have no need for arcane devices now. I disenchant thee. And so three Isle, farewell.
Gone, all gone. What? And sailed away forever? Then this island's mine. This island's mine, and I shall be its king.